Dear students, hope you are all well. Today we will begin with a chapter in geography. The name of the chapter is Let Us Use the Gratitude. Let's move forward. So, students, before we start this chapter, let us have a quick revision of what we have learned in our previous chapter. That is the earth and its gratitude. So, now let us first see at the definition of the gratitude. We had learned about gratitude, right? The network of lines of latitudes and longitudes is called the gratitude. These are also called as imaginary lines on the earth, but it is drawn on the globe and maps for reference. As you know, these lines are drawn on the globe or maps for our reference. The gratitude of latitude and longitude lines is an angular measurement system. As we had seen in the before chapter, there was angular measurement system. Let's move forward. Now, the next is latitudes and longitudes are expressed in degrees, minutes, and seconds. Now, as we will see in this chapter, these latitudes and longitudes of different places or particular places are expressed in degrees, minutes, and seconds. Degrees are divided in minutes and minutes into seconds. Each degree is divided into 60 minutes and a minute into 60 seconds. Now, these values are expressed using symbols. They are expressed using symbols like degrees, minutes, and seconds. Now, as you can see in your slide, degrees symbol is like a small O. Okay, small O or a small zero. So that degree symbol is 0. Then the minute symbol is an apostrophe comma, right? But it's just one. Okay, and seconds are two apostrophes comma. Okay, let's move forward. Now, before moving forward, I want you to perform a small exercise to test your knowledge about the world map. For that, you will need a globe, or you can download some images of the globe or world map from the internet and answer the following questions. Now, the first question is, what are the horizontal lines on the globe called? What are the sleeping lines on the globe called? They are called parallels of latitudes. Next one is, list the continents and oceans through which the equator passes. Now let's see the continents. Here you can see South America. Can you see in the map? Yes, South America, Africa, and Asia. These are the three continents to which the equator passes. Now, where do you find the equator? In between of the earth. Okay, the equator divides the earth into two equal parts. We learned in the before chapter. So, America, Africa, and Asia, these are the three continents through which the equator passes. Let's move to the next question. Which oceans are spread in all the four hemispheres? Now, which all oceans are spread in the four hemispheres? They are Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean are spread in all the four hemispheres. Let's move to the next question. Which continents are spread in all the four hemispheres? Now, which continents are spread? The Africa continent. Only the African continent. You can see now the Africa continent is spread in all the four hemispheres. Next question is, at which two parallels do all the meridians converge? Students, you can see the meridians are converging here in this area. Okay, the meridians are converging in this area as well as in this area. That means the North Pole and the South Pole. This area is of the North Pole, the upper North Pole, and this area is of the South Pole. That means all the meridians converge at the North Pole and the South Pole. Let's move forward. Now, students, before moving forward with this chapter, when we talk about various places, regions, river, roads, etc. Now, in the world map, can you see the world map? There are different places with different colors. We are actually talking with the reference to the earth. The location of a place, the extent of a region, that means how big the region, the extent of a region, and the extent of any linear features. Any linear features can be described precisely with the help of parallels and meridians. Okay, any extent of any region is described with the help of parallels and meridians. Now, what are parallels? Parallels are sleeping lines and meridians are standing lines. Let us see how to use the graticule for this purpose. The map displayed on your screen shows political boundaries, capital cities, and various time zones. Okay, the map. Now, each country has different time zones also, right? Yes. Let's move forward. And let us perform a small task with the help of the next figure, which shows the world map. 2.2. The equator and the prime meridian are labeled in degrees in this figure. Now, where do you find the prime meridian? Where will you find the prime meridian? In the North Pole, that is 0 degree. That is a prime meridian. Are labeled in degrees in this figure 2.2. Can you write the values of other meridians and parallels? Let's see further. Let's move forward. Now, while describing the location of a place, we need to consider only one parallel and one meridian. That means one sleeping line and one standing line. For example, Delhi is located at 28 degrees 36 minutes 50 seconds north latitude and 77 degrees 12 minutes 3 seconds east longitudes. Now in this figure, on this slide which you can see this chart, it is a place, right? It's a name, it's a place, that's Delhi. Okay, so that location is just measured. Okay, let's move forward. Now, for describing the extent of the region, we need to consider two parallels and two meridians at the extreme ends of the region. For example, the extent of Australia. Now, in this figure, you can see an Australian map, right? The extent of Australia is described. The extent of Australia means how big is Australia. Is described as 10 degrees 30 minutes south to 43 degrees 39 minutes south latitude and 113 degrees east to 153 degrees east longitude. Let's move forward. For describing the extent of linear features like river, roads, now we will see about the rivers, roads, okay, etc. We need to consider the latitude and longitude of their terminal points, means where are they located, where the rivers are located. For example, the river Nile. Can you see the river Nile, which I pointed out to? River Nile in Africa originates in Lake Victoria. From the river Nile originates in Lake Victoria, north, and meets the Mediterranean Sea. It meets the Mediterranean Sea near the city of Alexandria in Egypt. Now, can you see the Mediterranean Sea? And there is a city. There is the city of Alexandria in Egypt. The location of Lake Victoria is 0 degrees 45 minutes 21 seconds south latitude and 33 degrees 26 minutes 18 seconds east longitude. Similarly, the location of Alexandria is 31 degrees 12 minutes north latitude and 29 degrees 55 minutes 7 seconds east longitude. Now, these latitudes and longitudes are considered to describe the extent of the river Nile. These latitudes and longitudes are considered to describe the extent of the river Nile. Okay, let's move forward. Our next topic is important parallels and meridians. Let us have a look at some important Important parallels and meridians. This figure 2.4, shows some important circles which will help to understand the important parallels and meridians. As you can see in this picture, there are circles, right? All places between 23 degrees 30 minutes north and south. Can you see in this picture 23 degrees 30 minutes north, both the sides, that is north and south of the equator, receives perpendicular rays on 2 days in a year. Other areas of the earth never get perpendicular rays. Now next see the parallels, 23 degrees 30 minutes north and 23 degrees 30 minutes south of the equator. Now what are they called? What are their names? They are called as Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn respectively. You can see in the figure, it's already named. Now the parallels at 66 degrees 30 minutes north and south of the equator are also important parallels. Now look at 66 degrees 30 minutes north as well as the south. Okay. In the area between these two parallels, throughout the year, daytime lasts within the limit of 24 hours. You can see there it's written now, area of very slanting rays, duration of day more than 24 hours. Now depending on the seasons, daytime can be greater than 24 hours in the area between the polar circles and the poles. Poles are the North Pole and the South Pole. The maximum duration of the sun's appearance in the sky can be of 6 months at the poles based on the seasons. During this period, the sun continues to move in a spiral on the horizon. Now, as we have seen in standard 5th, that the Earth's axis is inclined. Now, what is inclined? It is tilted or slanting. The Earth's axis is always slanting. These important parallels arise because of the inclination. Okay, let's move forward. Now, due to the duration and the intensity of sunlight, different temperature zones are formed on the earth. Now, can you see in this picture, there are different temperature zones, that are polar zone, temperate zone, tropical zones, right? These are all different temperature zones. Now, they are formed on the earth. You will learn about all these temperature zones in detail in the 7th standard. Okay, let's move forward. Now, these zones give rise to pressure belts. Now, after these zones, they give rise to the pressure belts. Variation in the intensity of sunlight leads to regional diversity in plant and animal life. Regional diversity in plants as well as different kinds of plants and different kinds of animals in the different plant and animal life. Let's move forward. The 0 degree latitude, the 0 degree longitude or prime meridian is an important meridian. As you know, now we see, when we see the meridian, we see the 0 degree meridian. That is the prime meridian, which you find it on top. The main purpose of this is to fix the global standard time and coordinate the standard times of different countries. This meridian is also called as the Greenwich Meridian, Global Standard Time. This is known as GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. Okay, it is known as Greenwich Meridian, which is known as GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. Let's move forward. The 180-degree meridian is also important. From the prime meridian, the other meridians are marked. Now, what we take as a base was, we take the prime meridian as a base, which divides into the eastern and the western hemisphere, which we seen in the before chapter. So, we have to take prime meridian as a base, and after taking that base, we can draw other meridians, which divides the earth. No? So, from the center of the earth, we draw the prime meridian. So, after drawing that prime meridian, we can draw other meridians. So, the 180-degree meridian is also important. From the prime meridian, other meridians are marked east and west up to 180 degree. The 180 degree meridian lies opposite to the prime meridian. Why it lies opposite to the prime meridian? Because prime meridian is 0 degree. Okay. Let's move forward. The international date line is marked with the reference to this meridian. The international date line is also marked with the reference to this meridian. As you can see, the international date line is in the center. So we find prime meridian also at the center when we take prime meridian as the base, that is 0 degree. Let's move forward. The equator as well as all pairs of opposite meridians form great circles. Can you see the first figure? That's of an equator. The equator as well as all pairs of opposite meridians form great circles. Now on the globe or on the graticule we find great circles. We find circles, right? Great circles are used for finding the minimum distance between any two places. As I showed you before, each line of latitude and longitude, they form a location of different places on the globe. Great circles are used for finding the minimum distance between any two places on the surface of the earth. So each lines, as you can see, the lines which meet, that each dot is from one particular place. Let's move forward. That is your homework, is you have to find the answers of these questions. The first one is different temperature zones give rise to dash. Second is 66 degrees 30 minutes north parallels means dash. Third one is define international dateline, and the fourth one is what are the great circles used for. That's all for now. Your chapter ends over here. We will learn the next chapter in the next video. Thank you for listening, children. Goodbye. Take care.